All right, welcome to Talking.Beer. I'm Ryan. This is Brett. We are talking beer this week, and we're going to talk about the Super Bowl.
We are. But we're going to drink while doing so.
Absolutely.
And last week we just drank IPAs, so while I brought a different array of beers here for us to look at, I figured let's do something else, right?
Yeah. Got a whole bunch here. What are they? What are we looking at?
That's an IPA.
Oh.
You got another IPA, and then an IPA. This is a white beer, a wit. White wit means the same thing.
Yep.
This is a
coffee stout.
This one is a Willettized coffee stout. So what they do with this beer is they take a big stout and age it in Willett bourbon barrels.
And that is very dark.
Rye bourbon barrels.
As you can see, it's very dark, very bold.
Oh yeah. Very malty. Nice head on it. I like to have a nice head on the beer.
I like nice head. So Brett, what would you say if someone is headed to a Super Bowl party this week? What should they pick up if they want to impress their host?
Well, there's two different things I would think.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
that's thick.
Yeah.
That
you taste that bourbon.
That's
the Willett bourbon.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's definitely very bourbony.
That's wicked nice. Wicked. Anyway, I think there's two ways to go about it, really, honestly. Obviously, you want to drink beer. If you get there, it depends on when you're getting there. Are you getting there early in the afternoon, or are you getting there for game time, which is getting later and later? But I would say you're going to want to bring a lager. You're going to want to bring something that most people are going to drink. The most of the country, while we have an array of different craft beers here, most of the country drinks yellow lager still. So
sure.
like more than 80%. Now, as much as we get inundated with this, and those people that are into craft beer like we are only kind of see posts in social media about this. You know, when we watch Super Bowl on Sunday, we'll see some Budweiser commercials, probably some really awesome
Can't
ones.
wait for them.
You know, so I recommend mixing it up. You know, if you think that if you're the beer guy and you have to bring beer, you don't want to just bring craft. You're going to want to bring some Bud Light, something like that. But from the craft side, if you want to impress your host, you want to get something that kind of you're interested in, what you're interested in, something that, and read the bottle and pick it up and read the package and see what it is, and something that you would want to share. The big thing about craft beer, I think, nowadays is sharing is caring, and that's something that my buddy John Abercrombie taught me from Founders.
Nice.
Sharing is caring, and he's right. You want to bring something that you can talk about, something that you can maybe educate your friend with, something that you can educate a host of different people with in the room that maybe they haven't tried it before, maybe they have, or maybe it's just interesting to you and you want to just talk about it. Like, I've had this beer before, but I brought it today because I thought you might like to try it.
I definitely like to try it. Again, try a little bit more.
It's very bold. It's something to talk about.
Thick. It's almost, as you look at it, it obviously looks like coffee, but it has a nice. Yeah, I can taste that bourbon's
12.5%, 12.6.
Nice and thick too.
So you're not going to want to bring a whole bunch of this to the party, but it's something to have and
sure,
and talk about while you're at the party. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I found that a lot of times one or two good craft beers is a great place just to just the right amount to have. Especially when it's something I don't necessarily always know about, like a sour beer or something like that.
Especially on a school night and a Super Bowl party where you have to go to work Monday morning. You know, not too many 12.5% beers you're going to want to fire down, although I probably will. We're having a little bottle share at my house. So a bottle share is cool nowadays, right? Everybody brings over a couple of bottles of maybe a few cans, because this package right here, 16-ounce 4-pack is the way of the walk right now is it's for IPAs especially is 16-ounce cans all day, and then that nice 22 next to you if you can get your hands on it, double sunshine, but you have to go to Vermont for that.
Okay, so we have a lot of varieties here.
We do.
I think.
So we were talking about lager though. So here, this is a nice craft lager. Craft breweries are starting to make lagers.
And
This is Hog Lager.
Hog Lager. Okay.
This is from our friends at Black Hog. This is America's sexiest Pilsner. So we know a Pilsner is a subcategory of lager. It is a kind of lager. It is, because it is confusing out there. Pilsners are, I would say, a little bit more refined lagers. They're a little bit, when you see them, they're a little bit tighter bubbles. Nice.
Obviously, much clearer.
Crisper. Sometimes you get a nice European hop note from a real Pilsner. You get a German hop note or a Czech hop note.
I got a little bit of a black and tan going on.
Yes, we have no. We're not rinsing.
Bourbon stout at the bottom.
Just going for it. But yeah, that's got a nice nose to it.
Yeah, it's nice and clean. Yeah. I like their little pig here. Little piggy on the.
Yeah, a nice Connecticut brewery. This is nice. So this is they made it last year, but now it's a full round beer. It's starting this week. It is a full year-round beer from Black Hog. This is really good, actually. I did try it last Friday morning, but it was 8:30 in the morning. I don't remember it exactly, but this I'm gonna remember this for sure.
And this to me is more. I don't want to call it like Bud Light, but a lighter beer that you could actually have probably 10 of. This obviously, if you're
it's
drinking
much more
10,
expensive for a craft brewery to make this beer than it is for their IP. Well, because their tanks are tied up. The reason why a lot of craft breweries don't make lagers and pilsners is because it takes 4 to 6 weeks to make this. It's called cold conditioning, and
Gotcha.
and lagering is a term that just really means conditioning and holding the beer and letting it time filter out the beer, as well as so that yeast is working, but it's creating, and refining the beer. It's creating the beer, but it's also refining it. And the longer it sits in cold condition, it becomes more refined. And this beer probably, this is clean. There's no cheating going on here. This is a really well-made, clean Pilsner lager beer. It probably takes Tyler at least 5 weeks to make this beer before they can put it in package.
So
now,
they have limited
a week
tanks.
and a half to 2 weeks.
They have limited tanks. So
Limited
when
tanks,
they
limited
make
space.
something like this, they tie up their tanks and can't be making something else that makes them more money.
If it takes 6 weeks and an ale takes 2, they can make 3 batches of ale
And
before
they
they can
want
make that in the same
Yeah.
amount of time with the same tank. So, obviously all these breweries are tight on money. They don't have tons of money. They're doing fine, but they don't have tons of money left over. They have to pay for the equipment that they have there. It's
Sure.
a lot of expensive equipment there, and it's going to take a little while to pay for it. So the more they can turn over those tanks, the more they can turn over beer, the more money they'll make and get back into the kitty. But if once they can get over that hump a little bit, and then they can have a little breathing room. Black Hog has expanded recently, so they've doubled their capacity. They've doubled their space, so they
I
now
see
have the
what you're
ability to
calling
do something like
Enfield,
this.
Enfield, this brewery up in Enfield is going.
Powder
to
Hollow?
They're going
No.
to Windsor Locks.
Oh, is that Broadbrook?
Broadbrook. Yep.
They
Broadbrook.
just went to a new place, built a new brewery.
Yeah, it looks like the
I
building's
just saw
coming up.
there's
It looks like it's
somebody's taking their old spot. I
Oh,
just
really?
saw there's a sign up on the door. Someone put it up on Facebook that there's a new brewery going into that spot that was there.
Do you know how many breweries are in Connecticut?
It's crazy. Every day I open up my social media, there's a new brewery open up. I can't believe it. It's becoming wild, actually. It took Connecticut a long time to catch up, or almost catch up to other places.
Yeah.
Other cities, other states, but we're catching up, and now we're going crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's opening up a brewery. So what's going to end up happening is quality will rule, and people will start to understand what a good beer tastes like and what a not such a good beer tastes like.
Yeah.
And those breweries that are putting as much research and much time and effort into making a good quality beer aren't going to end up going the long haul and making it over the burst, which the last time we had a burst was in the mid-90s.
Yeah. So
And-
I assume, kind of like a bell curve, it's going to basically be a few that end up way out front that end up being bought out by the big guys. Those
The good
guys
ones
kind of-
will be if
yeah.
they want to sell. If they
Right.
don't want to sell, they don't have to. Depends on what their setup is with the banks, I guess.
Yeah, and then a lot that probably sit in the middle, and then some that they'll just be doing their own thing and kind of not really accelerating. And yes, our bottle opener is a rock.
Yeah, we're gonna over the course of training, we're gonna show people how to use anything you can find
Beautiful open.
to open bottles.
I saw a thing on the internet the other day, and I'm gonna link below to that. It's a 6-bottle opener. Now I don't know why you need this, but
A 6-bottle opener.
yeah, it's one shot, 6 bottles. You pop them all at one shot. I don't know why you need this, but it's perfect for the Super Bowl.
What? This beer?
No.
Or, actually, this is.
The 6-bottle
anything.
opener.
This is something. 6-bottle opener would be good for the Super Bowl. This would be a good beer to bring over to the Super Bowl, actually.
Bitches Brew.
Yeah, they used to make it. It's different this year. It was in big bottles before. It is another big beer from Dogfish. This year, the difference that they did is they aged it in big, giant wood barrels.
I can't tell which way it's going here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is an ageable beer. Ageable meaning you can throw it in your basement at the right temperature. If you're not near the furnace, on the other side of the basement,
Sure.
away from the furnace, where the temperature is a little bit cooler and doesn't fluctuate as much. The key thing for aging beers is temperature fluctuation. You can age it in 64 degrees basement, but it just can't fluctuate that much. The fluctuation is what screws up aging beer. Like Founders ages their beer in a cave below Grand Rapids, Michigan, about 100 yards below ground.
This is
It's
really
55 degrees every day, all day, without even having to have an air temperature.
This is really nice. Very smooth. I mean, just comparative in color to the coffee stout, but this is obviously much not sweeter. Well, kind of.
There's honey. There's honey in here.
In this?
Yeah, no, in this one.
On this one's a little like it. I mean, color-wise, it's very similar, but this one's much bolder. But the Bitches Brew is nice. It's very smooth, and yeah, I think you can taste that honey.
They used to have gesho root in it, whatever that is. Do you know what gesho root
I
is?
have no idea.
I have no idea either. I don't know if it still has it in there. Probably. It looks like you have to look at the box.
I am starting a honey hive.
You are.
Yeah, honey hive, a beehive. This March, my bees are coming. I've
They're
never
not from
done
South
anything.
America, are they?
No, I've never done anything.
Those ones
like
are
this. I'm very
dangerous.
excited because I think it's gonna make my garden be like. And
True that. Yes.
So if you ever heard of a flow hive? So imagine the honeycomb on the hive is like that, right? These guys in Australia created this thing, and it was on Kickstarter for a while, where basically you turn a key and it goes like that, and the honey flows down and flows out. So instead of back in the day, you'd have to like pull it, smoke, and wear all this bumblebee crap. This, you basically put a tube on, flip a switch, pours out.
They automated the bees.
The automated beat. Like a dumbass editing this week's vlog, I realized before we before we recorded, I forgot to empty the cards. So everything got dropped on the end, and we have a side view where we're talking and it's long and blah blah blah. We tried one more beer. We tried Audition Series by Counterweight, the Cotter pin. Really good, probably one of my favorite beers of that bunch. Also talked about who we thought was going to win the Super Bowl. Let us know in the comments what you think, who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. And then finally, what we're going to talk about next week is the relationship between the Brewers the liquor store, package stores, and the distributors, and how those 3 tiers work together. So we'll check you next week, and we'll have clear cards. Till then.